Hi, Meeps. I'm Rigga and you're you. I am still working on. I'm sort of trying a different studio setup, and I don't have my backdrop up or anything. I'm actually in a different room than I was. I'm also not streaming, so this is straight to YouTube. Anyhow, my that's as much to say as my lighting is kind of still messed up a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out everything out and all the placement. But I've got a topic that I was kind of interested. I was a Patreon of Evil Hat for a while, a patron on Patreon of Evil Hat for a while, and so I actually have a whole bunch of Fate RPG stuff that I've never really used. I didn't even have any Fate dice. Well, I have a few Fate dice now. I mean, it's two sets, right? It's not a lot, but anyhow, so there's a bunch of those, and fate points that I can play with, and things like that. And I also got the fate deck, so that I could play with that. And one of the things, I mean, obviously, because mostly what I do is I do solo role playing. I started to think about how to do an oracle. Now, okay, so here's the twist: is that I actually don't really use an oracle in any of the other game systems that I've played. The closest that I've come to using an oracle, there's two kinds of things that I've done. The one is with the narrative dice system in Star Wars RPG, which in and of itself is an oracle. Kind of really awesome, but it's really complicated with all the symbols and adding different dice to your dice pool and all kind of stuff like that. Um, that is kind of unwieldy for the kind of solo RPGing that I play, and considering the fact that I don't actually really do Oracle much. The other one is in some of the D&D 5e series that I've been doing. I'll do like a percentile dice, and I'll do like 51 and above is one answer, and 50 and below is a different answer. So that's kind of the closest I've come to an Oracle. But it seems like, I mean, a lot of solo role players play with oracles. I'm mostly doing, adventures that are pre-written, so there aren't necessarily as many sort of existential questions that I might ask. But was thinking about it. How would I do an oracle in Fate? And I was doing some stuff, looking at different ways to do that online and things like that. And on the topic of oracles, actually, a hat tip to solo RPG or RPG underscore solo on Twitter sent a link to a Recluse, a solo engine, which is a post by Graven Utterance. I'll include the links in the description. But the thing that I really liked about this oracle is that it included uncertainty about the question. That there's a way to, in this oracle, you would roll. Well, actually, here. So let's clear this off and actually take a look really quickly. I didn't get out regular dice. Here, let's get out. The system uses two different colored dice. So you would start out with, say, I don't know, a black die and a red die. Okay. A dark and a light, right? And so you'd roll the two dice, and then you'd compare. So the dark won, and so that means it's a no. And then you compare the difference, and it's a difference of one, so it's kind of a weak no. And then you can keep rolling and get the same result. And if you want to do, like, if it's really likely that it'll happen, you can add an extra die to one side and then toss the low. And so now it's 3 up. So that's a yes and. Or you can add another dark die for an unlikely, and then you toss the low and you end up with no winning. And so it was a really interesting. But if you get a roll where the two die match, two fives, two threes, whatever, right? What that means is that there's a presupposition in your question that is incorrect. And so you have to actually take a look at what you're asking. So say we asked, is the troll under the bridge? And so there's a presupposition that's incorrect. And what you need to think about is that, well, it's not a troll. It's not a bridge. It's not under the bridge. It's on top of the bridge. Something like that. Or, there is no bridge. Or the story of a troll attacking the caravans was a lie, and it's actually a bunch of thieves who are making it look like there's a troll, right? So this is a really interesting addition to the Oracle system that I really liked. And I started to wonder, what would it be like to use this Oracle system in Fate? And I did some research on Oracle systems, and most of them have like really big tables of like plus and minus and just a giant complicated ways of interpreting the dice, and it really didn't seem to fit. It didn't fit with my play style, and it didn't really fit, I felt, with Fate. So I started to think about it. What if, for example, I rolled 2 die for, so I had the standard is 4 for each roll, but what if 2 of them were light die and 2 of them were dark die, right? And so I was thinking, okay, so you roll this and then you compare, so that's a 0 and a 1, so yes wins, right? And then you keep rolling, so that's a 0 and a minus, yes still wins, right? And yes wins with 1. And so you could do that, and then you could compare, like, so it's 2 to 0, so that's plus 2, or that's plus 4, and that gets you the range of the fudge dice, of the fate dice, is from 4 to -4. Right, because this would be -4, or 4 to the no, right? But then the other thing is, what you can do is, if both sets of dice have the same roll, right, a plus and a minus, or plus and a plus, or whatever, that would be the indication in the Oracle that the supposition was incorrect. And so that matches the Recluse, the solo engine from Graven Utterance. So I thought about that, and I kind of like it. I mean, it kind of is interesting. It kind of works. But it doesn't work with a Fate deck. So the thing about the Fate deck is that you can't really split the answer, or the dice, into 2 different sets, because each Fate deck has 4 dice on it. So when you're doing this with a Fate deck, you're grabbing out. Okay, hold on. So you're grabbing out a card and pulling that up, and so you've got. I mean, you could say like the top 2 are yes, or the top 2, but it doesn't seem to work, right? So what I wanted an Oracle system that included the neat innovation from Graven Utterance of questioning the presupposition of your question, but was able to be used with both dice and the Fate deck. So this left me with thinking about the fact that I needed to use 4 dice. And in order to use 4 dice, I started to think about just sort of the really basic. What is the basic of the Oracle? The Oracle is that there's a yes plus, a yes negative, a no negative, a no plus, right? But that's 6. And And that doesn't quite work because I need 9 in order to get the range from 4 plus 0 to -4. So one way to do it is if you do 4 dice and you roll, and so this is actually a 0. And what I did is I put the 4 as a false premise, 3 was yes and, 2 yes, 1 yes but, 0 faulty premise, -1 no but, -2 no, -3 no and then -4 is a faulty premise. So that was an experiment I was trying. So this would be, for example, this would be -2. So that would be a no or a fail. So this would be a -1, which would be a no but, a fail with advantage. And then this would be a 0. So that would be a faulty premise. So that would be a case where we would say, okay, there's something about the question that assumes something that's not true. Now, the thing about this is that although that works with the dice, and it works with cards, one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't really... There's no critical success, right? There's no like rolling a nat 20 kind of feeling to it, because the 4 and the -4, the critical and the critical fail, are both faulty premise. So what I thought about was that there's actually a system in Fate where you can get yes with like a benefit. There's the minor cost, major cost kind of thing. So I wanted to try and figure out, like, if I had a critical success and then a yes at no cost, and then a yes at a minor cost, and then a yes at a major cost, that's my 4, and then I have 0 as a faulty premise, and then I can have a no but with a benefit, no and no cost, and no and a minor cost, and then no with a major cost or a critical fail. But basically, so 4 is yes with a critical success, meaning like maybe you gain a fate point. Then you have 3 yes and, yes at no cost. And then 2 is yes at a minor cost. And then 1 is yes but. Okay, let me try that again. So yes with critical success, yes and, yes, yes but, and then faulty premise at 0, then no but, no, no and, no with a critical fail. And so then what you do is you compare those with critical fails are like a major cost, or critical success is a major benefit. Like maybe it costs a fate point or it gets you a fate point. And then minor cost would be like taking stress or something like that. And then you could have no cost answers. But then right in the middle, you have faulty premise, which allows you to question. Now, the advantage for me is that what this does is it orders it in worst to best. And that means that you can then do things like spend a fate point and, re-roll a die, or you could have a stunt that maximizes one of the dice. So like, for example, I could take this roll and then I could maximize one die and make it a plus. So that's actually 2 instead of lower than 2. And for example here, which would be a -1, I could actually make that a 0. So what that does is it allows you to do things like spend fate points, both back and forth. Like, so that And this Oracle system actually works with a GM. So you could actually have like, so let's just sort of ask, in this Oracle system, let's ask, is the enemy a troll? And we're a 0. So then we've got a faulty premise, but maybe the GM really wants it to be a troll. So they could flip one of their fate points over and change the result, and the players could do that. Or you could use a stunt on that answer and change like one of the minuses to a plus. That sort of thing. So that's, I think that's a really elegant way of doing an Oracle system in Fate. So I'll put I'll either post it to my blog, or I'll put the description of the system into in the description of this video. But I just wanted to do a short little talk about what I'd been thinking about, sort of some of the different ideas that I had for doing a Fate Oracle. And we'll see. Like, it's actually going to be a test. Like, if I actually use it or not, I don't know. But it's a tool that I have available, and it uses either the dice or the Fate deck. And it could be used solo, or it could be used in group play as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I wanted to share that. That's just this quick video. I'm getting ready to play Fate. And so we'll see. I'm going to do some of the adventures and things that are in some of the books that I've got. All of my books with Fate are actually digital, because I was getting the PDFs from being a patron and stuff like that. And then I bought a whole bunch of other stuff. But I do have the physical dice and the deck, so I'll play with those. Yeah, okay. I'm just rambling now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me ramble about the Fate Oracle idea that I had. And if you use it, let me know. Let me know how it works. And if you think it doesn't work, let me know that too. All right. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.